I'll talk about a couple of the technical details of this Craigslist method. You don't have to buy any extra service for this usually when you do this. So when I talk about an autoresponder, I'm not talking about getting like if you do like a Google search for autoresponder service, you're going to end up with like Aweber or Infusionsoft or one of these sequential autoresponder providers. That's not really what we're talking about here. We're actually talking about a feature that is usually built into your web hosting. Whatever web hosting you use for your website usually has this set up. And if your web hosting doesn't, like let's say you're using like a service like Weebly or Wix or something and they don't have any kind of autoresponder feature for your emails, it's usually built into your email service. And if they don't have that, it's very easy to just go out there and get a like any kind of a website. It doesn't even matter. Make up the domain 1234.com, xyz.com, and just get a hosting account that includes cPanel, this cPanel accelerated. And then usually they have some kind of an autoresponder in there. So it looks different for each web host, but I'm using this example because this is a very common dashboard for a cPanel for a web host where you have these different services. And you see here autoresponders is right here, and it's usually in the same area of your web host where you set up your email addresses, where maybe where you change your webmail password, or if you want to add a new email address to your website, it's usually in that same area. So if you don't have cPanel or your web host is a little different than this would be where you would look. And what they include here when it says autoresponder doesn't mean it doesn't mean like it's going to send out a message every other day for like a week. It just means if someone emails this certain email address, say Chad at 1234567xyz.com. If someone emails that address sends an automatic response back. That's all it means. It usually just means one response back. You can even do this with Gmail. Use Gmail's like vacation message, where if you're on vacation, you can tell Gmail to send an automatic reply. You can use that as well. And so that's what we use. Now, so what we do is we click add autoresponder, and we're gonna create an email address, and then this is the from address and the subject, and basically this means this is the message that's gonna go back. So what you want to do is anyone who answers your Craigslist ad, you want them to email this specific email address. And that way, whatever they get, they will get this message back. And what the message says is, thank you for applying for this job from Craigslist. Please fill out this application form for us to consider you. And then you link to an application form. Now, what you're going to use for this application form, that's very, very easy. You probably have something like this built into, if you use like Weebly or Wix or something, you probably have something like this built in. But what you want to do is you want to have an application form that automatically sends your information to a spreadsheet. And the easiest solution for this is to go into your Google account and your Google Drive. You can see it says drive.google.com, and click new, and then go down here and click more. And what you want to do is you want to create a Google form. Okay? And what a Google form is it's basically a well, I'll just show you really quick. Here is the first question. And then we're going to go down. We're going to change this from multiple choice to paragraph. And we're going to preview it. You're going to see what it looks like. And this lets someone fill out their information. And so basically this will be Google will do it all for you. And they're going to go to this page, and this is going to look like a job application. Okay, it's going to ask for their name, normal on a job application. It's going to ask for their email. It's going to ask for their address. That's very important, right? You want to know what their address is, and that's really important. The reason why it's really important is because they might be answering your ad. You might be trying to get a lead gen in a certain city. Well, Craigslist is showing your Craigslist ad to them, even though they're just outside the city. Okay, so they're not actually, their address isn't actually in your target city. You want to know that because you go through all this work to get them to receive your postcard, and they end up not even being in the city that you're targeting. So that's really important. You want their address in there. I usually ask for their PayPal address because we pay them through PayPal. And you want to ask them for their email address, their preferred email, and their phone number. Okay. Now, we usually don't call them, but it's nice to have it if there's any kind of issue. You need to call them on the phone, and that's their application. And the nice thing about Google Forms is when you click submit on a Google form, it automatically enters all the information into a spreadsheet that it creates for you. Let me show you. First question, Billy Bumpy, submit. Okay, your response has been recorded. Okay, and then let's go check it out. Go back into the edit area of our Google form, and you can see here now it has two tabs. This is questions, and over here it says responses. And then what you can do here is you go over here, see this? Create spreadsheet. That's what we want to do. And we want untitled form responses. We want that to be the spreadsheet where all of our answers go. And you click create. And now here we have the timestamp of when I entered Billy Bumpy into that thing. And my answer, Billy Bumpy. So the nice thing about that is you'll have all your answers all collected here in this spreadsheet. And what's really awesome about that is then what we do actually, what I would recommend you do as well, is we then give this spreadsheet, we give our outsourcer in the Philippines access to this spreadsheet, and she can go in and handle it from here. But if you're doing this yourself, what you're going to have in here is you're going to have somebody named Billy Bumpy with their address, blah, blah, their email, and their phone, and their PayPal. And what you want to do is, what we tell our outsourcer to do is she copies this email and goes back into an email that we've created for her, and she sends them a template. And what the template says is, congratulations, thank you, you have been selected to for this job. And here are the instructions for the job. She sends this email out to them through her own, it's an email she has access to. We don't even, well, we can log into it, but we don't even need to check it. She handles it all. And then we send them to a YouTube video or a Vimeo, or it could be any kind of an online video that has the instructions for setting up the GMB. And then in that video, we tell them everything that they need to know about setting up the GMB. We tell them, hey, make sure you hide your address because we're not going to show your address publicly. Google just needs to verify that you are the manager of this page, and this is your new job. You're going to be managing this social media profile for our company, and here's the information that you need to put into the listing. And we walk them through the whole process of setting up a GMB in that video. You're going to have to make a video in your voice, okay, to do that. And at the end, and we tell them at the very beginning of the video, hey, this task is your first task for this new job. I know I told you I'd pay you X amount per hour, whatever you put in your Craigslist ad for how much you're going to pay them. I know I told you I'd pay you X amount per hour, but actually, all you have to do is this first step, and you'll get a one-time bonus of $25 or $50 or however much you want to pay, but make it more than the hourly rate. So they know all they have to do is set up this GMB, get the PIN, and enter the PIN, and they will get their bonus pay. And then I usually say, actually, to do this initial step probably will take you far less than an hour. Even though it's going to take you far less than an hour, probably going to take you 15 minutes. I say this all at the beginning of the video. It'll only take you 15 minutes, but I'll still pay you this bonus amount just for completing this first task. Because remember, the thing you want them to do is you want them to get that PIN and enter that into the GMB. That's the most important thing you're trying to get for them to do. This is all a template. So we have it all templated out for our outsourcer, and she just copies and pastes the responses. Now, she does speak English fairly well, so she can reply to people back and forth if they have questions. We've given her answers to the most common questions that we get. But for the most part, she handles it all. And you can even have a special PayPal account set up for your outsourcer that they can pay people out of. And that way they're handling the entire thing, and you're watching your GMBs just be automated, set up all over the country, and it's all done for you. Now, something that's really important, if you're really trying to scale these ads, these GMBs, in a large way, I would not handle the Craigslist posting yourself. There's software that can do it, there's stuff like that, but mass Craigslist posting is a skill all unto itself. We use is a company called Classified Kings, and they have an automated solution where they set up the Craigslist ads for you, and you tell them all the cities that you want. We give them a list of like 50 cities. We pay them, and then they'll post multiple ads throughout the whole month, day after day, week after week, posting ads and making sure that they stay alive. Now, there's a little bit of a setup process with them. Again, you're not going to be able to go out and get these ads out there like immediately today with Classified Kings, because they have a process where you tell them what your ad copy is going to be, then they modify it because they know what type of ads get suspended and which type of Craigslist ads survive, and then they'll check that with you. So how do you approve this ad? And once you approve it, then the ad goes up, and they automatically spin the text in the ad and change it up so that it looks different and everything. They have a whole process that they do, but we like to let them handle the Craigslist posting because it's really an entire business model all in itself, just being successful with mass Craigslist posting. Classified Kings is by no means the only solution for this. There's other solutions out there. I'm just telling you this because we've actually worked with them before. So if sometime in the future you're watching this video and Classified Kings goes away for some reason, you can find this is a service that's common to find. And it's just that I'm recommending this one because it's the one we've actually used. But they're going to ask you, what email address are you going to use to contact people? And you want to make sure to tell Classified Kings, we don't want phone responses. We want email only responses. And we want them to email this certain address, this email address. And that email address is the one that I showed you earlier. You can just rewind the video and watch it, where you set up your autoresponder, because that is the key to the whole process, is that you're going to get a lot of responses. Some people aren't going to do anything. Some people you're going to get a ton of emails off of these ads, and you want the process of answering the email to be quick, and you want it to be automated. And so you want them to get the email for the application right away, and you want it to be automatically sent, and that's where that autoresponder comes in. You're going to send out an email with a link to the Google form that I showed you, and they're going to be filling it out, and you're going to just watch your people start to go down the spreadsheet. Your spreadsheet's going to start to fill up with people that are saying, yes, I want you to pay me to enter this PIN, and you can use my address. Very, very powerful. And then the next key after that is then you have your outsourcer email them and say, hey, I'm the manager of this company, and I'm the one that's going to handle this, and congratulations, you got the job. I'm going to be your contact from now on, and here is the instructions for the first task, and that's where you have your video that tells them about how to set up the GMB. Again, we have done this successfully. It works great, and you really don't have to touch it at all. All you have to do is have an outsourcer do it, or you can do it yourself, but we recommend having an outsourcer handle it, and doing it all through the autoresponder, whether it's from your Weebly or your web host.